Hi everyone, it's June 25th, 2009. I'm Dwight Schmuck. This is the Schmuck Look. Today, folks, we're going to tell you a little bit of a story. I went, as I said yesterday, to my 40-year class reunion in Pennsylvania, and I had to take Grey Dog because I don't drive anymore. And believe me, and without a photo ID, you can't fly, and I don't have a photo ID, and I'm not going to get one. The hell with that. You know, this is the country you don't need the papers. Let me show you. Let me see your papers. We don't do that here. Remember? Or do we now? Anyway, I had to take Greyhound. And Port Authority is just such a fun place anyway. Well, on my way back, now I had a 1-hour layover between arriving at the Port Authority and leaving to come to Vermont. And it shouldn't have been a problem. Now, I was having a back spasm. I couldn't walk hardly. So I did manage to make my way to the courtesy phone and ask for a wheelchair. And the guy showed up with it, no problems. Now, we had to go up 2 floors and to another building to get to my bus. And we did that. Of course, it took a little bit, even in the wheelchair. There's a lot of people there, you know. Buses and subways and oh my. And, we got there, and he went to find a supervisor to find the exact gate to go to, and found one shortly, had my ticket with him, showed the lady my ticket. Now, how do I know this was a supervisor? The Greyhound people all wear these lemon-colored vests with a little silver Greyhound on the bottom, and this lady had one of those on. And she looked at the ticket and said, "Oh no, that gate's closed. You have to go to this other gate," which of course was back down the 2 floors and back to the original building. We got there and I got in line and the guy left. And I'm talking to a couple of the passengers and found out on my own, this is the bus to Montreal. Not only do they not have the right state, but oh my God, they've got me to the wrong country. At that point, the ticket collector comes out, and I asked him, I said, "Does this bus go anywhere as close to Brattleboro, Vermont?" And he said, "The closest it gets is Albany." Oh, goody. We're like 70 miles away from each other. This is not a joyful thing. Okay, I panicked and went into a bigger back spasm. There was a missionary doctor there who called for EMS. We called for the guy to come back with the wheelchair. He showed up before EMS, and I left. We went back to the original place to find out the bus to Brattleboro had left. They did not, indeed, hold it for me, as they said back at the other place they would. They had not. That was the last bus of the day to Brattleboro, Vermont. Oh, joy. At that point, there was another supervisor walking by, so I got his attention and said, "Okay, now what do I do?" And he looked at my ticket, as had the first supervisor involved with this looked at the ticket, and said, "Brattleboro, isn't that really next to Boston?" And at that point, folks, I exploded. Now we're talking, okay, I grant you it's the same country, but it is yet another state. I was not amused, and I asked the gentleman, why the hell didn't anybody want to let me go home? He told us to go to the customer service place. We did, and, God bless the guy who was pushing the wheelchair, cut us right in the line, and asked for the boss there. And she came out and, okay, they were going to give me a free ticket to Greenfield, Massachusetts. It's about really the same distance from Wilmington, Vermont, as Brattleboro, Vermont is. It's just another direction. And they'd let me use the phone so I could call my pickup ride because, again, I don't drive, so I had to get from the bus terminal to here, where I am now. And I asked them while the ticket's being printed and I'm on the phone what time the bus would arrive in Greenfield, and was told 6:30, which I relayed and, hung up, said thank you, and boom. Now, on the way out, I happened to look at the ticket, and it didn't leave Springfield, Massachusetts, till 7:30. That's 2 full stops away from Greenfield. And exactly how we went right back, cut back in line with the guy again and said, "Excuse me, how do the laws of physics bend here that we don't leave Springfield till 7:30, but we arrive in Greenfield at 6:30? And he said, "Oops, my bad. I meant to say 8:30. And that's what he said. "Oops, my bad." They let me use the phone again. Fortunately, my ride got that message, and, show was there when I arrived at Greenfield. I got home. But, Greyhound, I really, really would suggest this highly. You have more than, say, 3 or 4 people who can speak and read English. Most of your employees should know a little geography, that Vermont is not in Canada, and that it is not indeed next to Boston. Just a little geography there would help, and that they could indeed tell time. Go Greyhound? Sure. Just don't depend on getting to where you wanted to go when you wanted to get there. I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's today's Schmuck Look. Peace, everyone.